Hello and welcome to Glenn Maney Talks Chelsea. Let's talk Chelsea. Let's talk Frank Lampard. I'm sick to death of going on social media, and even those accounts, not all of them by the way, but some of the accounts who support Chelsea are asking questions like, "Oh, who do we get in if Frank Lampard does get the sack?" and stuff like that. It's negative. It's not supportive at all. And I'll be honest, I've unfollowed a couple of them. I just think that's not. You purport to be Chelsea supporters. You've got big YouTube accounts, and you're entitled to your opinion. But why not ask those sort of questions when Frank Lampard actually gets the sack, if he gets the sack? Why ask that now? Is it just for, I don't know, views, or what is it? But I just find it incredibly negative. I read a lot on social media um, where Frank is actually being abused. Sort of fat Frank images and stuff like that. And I think to myself, they can't be Chelsea supporters, because even if you don't think that Frank Lampard's doing a decent job, why would you abuse a club legend if you're actually a supporter of that club? I just don't get it. I just don't get. I just think some of these people aren't wired up right. I don't understand it. Someone said to me, "Oh, well, would you support him if we were relegated?" Yeah, I would, and I'm not saying that's right, and I understand why people would disagree with me. But yeah, I would, having seen the last two times we got relegated and had great times the year after, or once a year after that, following them as we got promoted again. Yeah, I would, and do you know why I would? Because Lampard, when you compare it with other managers, they say, "Oh, he's got this rate and he's got that rate." Now, you always get compared with the managers in the Abramovich period, and quite rightly so, because they've had the players available. But Lampard, let's get this right, took over a team that had lost Eden Hazard and couldn't buy anyone else because we were in a transfer ban. And this guy, who's only had a year's experience in the Championship before, took us to fourth, whilst blooding people like Reece James, giving Billy Gilmore a couple of games, getting Tamori in, revitalising Zuma, Callum Hudson-Odoi, giving him some run-outs. And let's not forget, Pulisic, only 21 when he joined the club. Getting Pulisic bedded in, because he's in a new country, a new club in a new league. That took a little bit of time, but look at the player we got now. All this doesn't seem to get mentioned while people are abusing Frank Lampard. So this season, he's a victim of his own success, really, because going 17 games unbeaten when you've got 6 new players, 5 of whom are new to the country, the team and the league. It's amazing that even with the injuries that we've had, I mean, you think Ziyech has been injured, Pulisic has been injured already, on a couple of occasions. Callum Hudson-Odoi has been injured. They, when you look at that, and he's got to get these players bedded in. I remember when Hazard first came, he done all right, but he got 4 goals that season. Anyone else remember Didier's first season? He did okay, but it wasn't great, was he? We were all going. When I look at people like Mo Salah and Kevin De Bruyne, the plastics were all going, "Oh, I'll get rid of them, they're rubbish." Look at them now. if we had a manager like Lampard then who would have a bit of patience and help them bed in, what sort of side would we have at this moment in time? So all these people calling for his head, have a real good think. All these Chelsea accounts posting, oh, who would you have as manager if Lampard got sacked tomorrow? There's a 5-man list. Choose which one. No. I'll choose which one I would like. Not that it makes any difference whatsoever, because the big man makes all those decisions. If, and sadly, when Frank Lampard gets the tin tack, and not before then, I won't even enter into the conversation. So, what are we doing differently that we weren't doing in those 17 games of an unbeaten run? Right. We're not covering for each other. We're not dropping into space like we were. In the last game we got beat, Ziyech didn't come back and do his defensive duties like he's been doing before. N'Golo Kante, who started the season like a little steam train, has gone off the boil last 2 or 3 games. Mason Mount looked tired. Could well be down to the manager not giving him a rest. Because whilst I'm saying this, I'm not saying that Frank Lampard hasn't made mistakes. And I'm not saying that he won't make more mistakes. What I'm saying is that as a Chelsea supporter, I bought in to Frank having a 4-year plan. A 4-year plan where he got us Champions League football, embedded his youngsters. Chelsea invested in these new players, so give him time to bed them in, for them to get used to the league, and then next season we hope to see a Frank Lampard side, a high tempo, fully interchangeable side, a bit like the old Barcelona. I think that is what we'll be getting next year. I watched the Morecambe game this afternoon. Little bit of interplay between Werner and Havertz. Little bit of interplay between Werner, Mount and Havertz. Boom, boom, boom. Crossing over. Switching sides. Only against Morecambe. But if you get that at the right tempo and with the right fluidity, that will bamboozle anyone. Your Manchester Cities or your Liverpools. So I bought into a 4-year project. So that's why I'm supporting Frank Lampard no matter what. No matter what. And I don't think I'm wrong in doing that. You may disagree, and I respect everyone's opinions. But what I don't respect is people that absolutely abuse him. An interesting fact that in those games we've lost, we've hit the woodwork 5 times. If those go in, different altogether, isn't it? I didn't realise that. But yeah, 5 times. Or was that? No, Werner. Werner's hit the woodwork 5 times. That's the different slant on things altogether. But Werner's a quality player. He's going through a dreadful time. Havertz is a young man who's taking time to adjust. Today, some of the touches were lovely. Absolutely lovely. And the headed goal he took, brilliant. It will come good. We've got to believe. But even those that don't believe, don't abuse. That's not supporting. Chelsea have dropped off the pace a bit. The tempo's gone, the fluidity's gone. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You hear these little rumours like Tomori not training particularly well and stuff like that. We don't know what players cause trouble behind the scenes. When I say cause trouble, I mean just walking around a place with a scowl instead of a smile because they're not in the side. You know, we don't know. We don't see that side of things. And that's what Frank's got to manage. That's what he's there for. But I'm sure he will. And I'm sure he's learning. I know he's learning on the job. And yes, he's made mistakes. But he's got my full support until Roman, the big man, the man that whose opinion really counts, decides enough is enough. Things aren't going the way he wants them to go. But I think even he thinks to himself, all right, okay, let's look at this, because these players ain't gonna all fit in overnight. These players are going to take time to adjust. These players are going to have dips in form until they get up to the speed with the Premier League. So all I'm saying to you lot out there is stick with them. The pressing game will come back, because we've dropped off on that. I'm telling you, pressing game will come back. The tempo will come back, and winning ways will come back. But we need to support. We need to support the manager. We need to support the team. So where do I see us so far? I think we're victims of our own success. I thought it would take time for these geezers to feel at home and start playing top of their ability. Don't think injuries have helped, but we'll get there. That's all I have to say. Don't abuse your own players, and don't abuse a club legend. Because if you do, you're entitled to your opinion. But my opinion is you're not a real Chelsea supporter. Speak to you after Fulham. Up to Chelsea.